Hey guys, so today I thought I would bring you something a little different. And I thought that maybe I would show you guys what it takes to be an artist if you wanted to, say, work for Marvel Comics or something like that. Sort of the level that you have to be at in order to be a Marvel Comics artist. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to create an illustration just from my own head, basically. And the idea is that we want this to look like it's, if it was in a Marvel comic book, you were flipping through it, you would not be able to pick it out. You know what I mean? You would just think it's part of the Marvel comics. So I'm going to show you sort of what it takes to get to that level, and I'm also going to show you some sort of tips and tricks on how you can get to that level. All that I would ask is that while you are watching this, don't judge the image until it's done, because the way that art works in a lot of ways is it's almost like it's building blocks, right? So if I were to tell you to judge a house on how nice it is, I wouldn't show you the frame halfway through, right? You can't judge how nice the house will be based on the wooden frame. You wait till it's finished, but that wooden frame is very important, if you know what I'm saying. So just don't leave until the very end, because you'll see what I mean. But let's just jump into it here. I've got my marker here, and my pen, I should say, and the image that I've decided to create, I'm going to draw the Hulk fighting Iron Man. And I think how I want it to look is I'm going to have Iron Man sort of blasting out. You know, he has the beam that comes out of his chest. I'm going to have him sort of blasting that at the Hulk, and I'm going to have the Hulk charging at Iron Man with his hand out, sort of like not catching the beam, but pushing against the beam with his hand, if that makes sense. So let's get into this here, and again, wait till the end to see the final product, and yeah, let's get going here. So first things first, I'm going to start off with Iron Man, I think, and how I want this to look. So let's start off with his body here, and again, this is just sort of this is the building blocks phase, right? So just like I said, wait and see. So let's start with the chest, because like I said, I want to have him shooting that blue beam out of it. So I'm going to do a slightly exaggerated blue beam here for his chest. And okay. And we'll just swoop down here like so. And then I'm gonna have his like little crotch piece here like that. And then for his legs, there we go, like so. And then for the other leg, we want him to be sort of bracing himself, right? Because he's shooting like a huge blast here. So we do want the legs to sort of be braced a little bit. And then he's got his Iron Man kind of boots, and like that. Okay, and then so his arms, I'm going to do another layer. Actually, not for the back arm. The back arm's fine. So we want one arm to be kind of coming out like this, and then the other, he'll be making a fist, because he's kind of clenching a little bit there. And then on the next layer, I'm going to do the other arm here, because it's got to give it that three-dimensional look. Okay. Yeah, oh, that's too big there. It's okay to make mistakes, because we can always just erase. And we want to make sure we're accurate here, because again, like if this is going to be in a Marvel comic, we don't want it to look, you know, childish or anything like that, right? So let's get the other fist here. Perfect. And then we can jump into our other layer here and just erase the part of the body here. Whoops. The part of the body here we don't need anymore. And like I said, wait till the end for the final product. Now we got to do some bits of armor, right? So he's got like the golden plates of armor. So if we just sort of, we can sort of go through and add on, because it's like a red suit with golden plates on it. So we'll just add on those armor plates like so. Now for his face and helmet, what I want to do, I'm going to merge those two layers there, and then I'm going to just jump up, whoops, do the head on another layer here. Now for the head, what I wanted to do is sort of have, I want this, I know he's wearing a robot mask, but I want the expression on his face to sort of be like relief, like he's been holding in this blast for you know, forever, and he's just been wanting to blast it on the Hulk, kind of thing. So I want him to have sort of a relieved look on his face, like, oh, okay, there's the blast we've been waiting for. So we will get the helmet here, and then I want to have a little bit exaggerated eyes, just because, like I said, I really want to capture that emotion, because when you're doing comic book drawing, it's not like a movie where you can hear them speaking. They can give off that emotion. You have to show that in your art, right? So it's important to do that. So I think I want to have the eyes sort of like rolling to the back of his head, like he's just can't believe he's finally getting to release that blast on the Hulk, sort of thing, right? So then we'll have his tongue up there, and then we'll just sort of put the other half of his head there. And when I color it, I'll show you there's some professional artist tips I can give you on coloring that will make this look really three-dimensional. Now we're gonna have, like I said, he's got his gold plating, right? So we're gonna do that sort of design that shows that he's got the gold plating with the red below it. And now let's do a little bit more detail here, just around the, just like a ring around. Whoops, let me just fix that up. We don't actually do all the way around, because I'm going to show you we're going to do something else here. We don't need to go all the way around here. So what we're going to do now is, actually no, I'm going to add one more bit of armor here, just because I want, you know, Marvel's known for the detail in their art, and I want to have lots of detail, right? So let's jump in here. And now what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to draw the blast yet. I'm going to draw the Hulk first, and then I'll draw the blast after that. So let's just jump over here. And for the Hulk, like I said, I want this blast to be shooting, and I want his hand to be kind of pushing up against it. So I'm going to draw the hand first, and let me just merge these together here. And working in layers is very important. Now we are going to draw the Hulk. So the hand, like I said, pushing against the beam. So the beam's going to come out like this, and I want the hand to be kind of, and I can always move this stuff around afterwards, so it's not a huge deal if it's, you know, in the wrong spot. So let's just, and you know, the Hulk's got, oops, that's not how I wanted it. The Hulk's got some big hands, and I want to, you know, really exaggerate that to show how big he is compared to Iron Man, especially when he's in his, you know, regular sized Iron Man suit, not the Hulkbuster suit like you see in Avengers and Age of Ultron. So let's do that. And like I said, this will all come together in the end, so don't, if you're wondering what's going on here, don't worry, you know. Sometimes when you're creating something, there's this stage where things don't look good, and you start to question the whole thing, and then all of a sudden, a couple of quick lines really pulls it together, and it's better, right? So let's get the Hulk arm going here. And then we're going to do sort of his elbow, and that's going to be the sort of back of his arm, and then we've got his shoulder, and then like the bicep, sort of like that, right? So now I'm just gonna grab this like this, and just maybe shrink it down a tiny bit, not too much. Okay, and then what we're gonna do here, oops. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to do another layer, and I'm going to draw, this is going to be up here, sort of his shoulder. Oh, hang on a second, what have I done? I'm going to draw his shoulder like that, and then we'll do his head here. And that's going to be like his jaw, and then we'll have his ear, and then have his other ear. And again, this is all just building blocks. And then we'll have his sort of hairline coming across. And we want him to have a sort of a angry sort of frown, and then his sort of layer of teeth, sort of like an underbite kind of thing. And we'll just separate the teeth here, and the nose and eyebrow with the eyes coming off like that. And then I'll just do the sort of pupils there looking over, and then for the hair, we'll just kind of do like a messy, and we will be coloring that in afterwards. Okay, that's pretty good. Now we'll draw his, there we go. Okay, let's just draw a little bit of detail here. So bicep muscle, and then we'll have his, so he's kind of hunched over charging, if that makes sense. And then we're gonna have his body coming down like that. And we'll just do some abs, because the Hulk obviously is pretty muscular, and he's got that kind of, you know, like lat muscle line there. And then for the legs, now we want to keep the legs level, because if you see where Iron Man's feet are, that's kind of where the Hulk's legs have to come. So we're just going to do, we just want to make sure that they fit, that they make sense, right? So we'll just do sort of like that. And then the Hulk does not wear shoes because they don't fit him, so he has his toes out, like so. And then this sort of crotch part comes around here, and then we want the back leg to be sort of like bracing, right? Like he's charging forward, so the back leg has to come back like that, and then we can have it sort of like bent because it's pushing back, right? That just makes sense to me. Like that. And then again, you want to have his toes coming off like that. Okay. And now his other arm is going to be smaller because it's behind him, right? So the arm here in front, that's in front of the camera, and the other arm's behind his body, so that needs to be smaller than the one that's here. So we can just sort of put like that and like that, and we want it to be kind of curled up like he's making a fist with this one, right? So we can just do like a sort of a curl there, and that will show that he's kind of got like a fist, if that makes sense. So let's take a look back now. That looks pretty good. Now, I think what we can do from this point, actually, hang on, let me just jump in here. I just want to do sort of like a shirt collar, even though he's not wearing a shirt. I think that kind of gives you a better idea of where the neck's coming from, sort of thing. So we'll do that. Now, I do want to do fingernails, so because again, Marvel's really about the details in the drawings, right? Like you're not going to submit a drawing to Marvel Comics without fingernails and get anywhere, right? So I'm trying to make this informative. And then this pinky finger back here, you can't see the fingernail because it's facing the backwards way, right? So that's why you can't see that. It's just a couple of little lines here like that. I think another. Now the Hulk, to show how strong he is, I like to do veins. So if we just do some veins like this and like that, that shows how muscly he is. And then also like some bags under his eyes show that he's kind of stressed out and angry, right? Now from this point, we want to draw the energy blast, right? So we're going to make another layer for that because we don't want to work on the same layer in case we want to erase things and fix mistakes in that, right? So we're going to have this shooting sort of out of the chest. And he's catching it in his hand, right? Like that. Let me just erase the part I don't want there. Now, I want to make it look sort of like it's hitting his hand really hard, and then it's sort of losing power. So it's almost like dripping, if that makes sense, like off of his hand. Like after it hits, it's just like, you know, the energy loses its force, and it's just kind of like blasting everywhere, if that makes sense. So kind of like really getting him, you know what I mean? Like he can stop some of the energy, but not all of it, if that makes sense. So we'll just have some energy kind of going like that. Energy beam and energy beam like this, if that makes sense. And there could even be some kind of like on his hand there, kind of getting over. And like anybody else, you know, this energy would probably kill, right? But the Hulk can take that. He can take that energy, right? So now let's just jump back into our previous layers here. So I think that looks pretty good. And we're just going to erase the stuff. We're going to erase, let me just think here, the parts that the energy is covering, right? So like that, and you know, I guess technically this finger is actually being covered by the energy, right? Because it's behind, it's in his hand, so we don't need that. And that's how drawing works sometimes. You know, you set foundations and building blocks, and sometimes those things end up getting erased because of perspective and foreshortening and stuff like that, right? So you can't always expect everything to stay. So that's good. Whoops. Got that shooting out there. I'm actually going to erase this line here because I want... Here we go. And then that's there, and then we want to get rid of this part here because the energy is kind of, again, getting up on his face a little bit, like that. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good start there. I just want to clean up this line here a little bit because it's going to bug me. Just like that. And then I want to add, you know, some like lines like this, like just showing that the energy is, you know. But then back on Iron Man though, we do have to erase quite a bit here. So we'll just jump into our eraser. We're gonna make it a little bit bigger here just to get this done faster. And we'll just clear away some of the parts that are covered with energy, like that. And then we'll just finish off this circle like that. Okay, so that's a good preliminary drawing, I think. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sort of jump ahead here. I'm going to do some color, just some basic color, and then we'll jump back in and we'll keep going on this. Okay, guys, so we're back, and as you can see, I got quite a bit done here. A lot of improvements made, but I'll just quickly go over some of the basics with you, and then we'll finish this off. So as you can see, we have our Iron Man unleashing his blast on the Hulk, and the Hulk sort of intercepting it with his hand like we wanted. I did do, again, the basic color layer. Then you'll notice I did a bit of professional shading. So it's important when you're shading to look where the light source is, which is in this case the energy beam, and you want to shade all the parts of the drawing that would not be getting hit by that light. So obviously the Hulk's back, the back of his arm, the back here, back of his pants, those are behind, away from the energy beam. And then same with Iron Man, we got the shading on these sides, and then I also did a bit of light highlights here professionally. So you'll notice some of these little white highlights everywhere, and those are all on the front where the light would be reflecting from Iron Man's blast. So it's mostly done. As a couple, now this is the part where I have to do a couple things that really bring it together here. So if we just sort of zoom in here really closely, closely. And then we're just going to take our brush, we're going to reduce it down really small, like so. And then there we go, just do that. Now, I did barely any adjusting here, but if you look though, it really brings it together though. Like it really, just those extra little bit of details really makes the picture. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing how a professional comic book drawing is sort of created. I hope that this helped you. And if there's any other superheroes you would like to see drawn, fighting each other, just let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely do more of these. So thanks again, and I will see you guys in the next video.